Every year, each county in New York State picks its Seniors of the Year. These are people 65 and over who are making differences in their communities, making things happen. The state recognizes 100 of them annually. And according to the State Office for the Aging, this year's distinguished individuals racked up, get this, more than 2,400 years of service. They've also raised 219 children, 356 grandchildren, and 71 great-grandchildren. Today, we meet the Seniors of the Year in St. Lawrence County, who are passing their love for adventure on to their peers. That's today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Claxton Hepburn Medical Center, dedicated to providing patient care and regional services to the people of St. Lawrence County. ClaxtonHepburn.org.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Thursday, December 26th. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. First up, a longtime part of the mental health safety net in St. Lawrence County is shutting down at the end of the year. Reachout of St. Lawrence County has offered a 24-hour crisis and intervention hotline with trained counselors since 1979. In a press release, founding director Karen Easter said the St. Lawrence County Legislature, which controls funding that supports Reachout, has selected a new service through a bidding process. We are heartbroken, Easter said. Easter spoke with NCPR in 2019.
We do our part so that nobody ever has to suffer alone. And that's our purpose, to be there at every hour so that you don't have to suffer alone if you're going through something tough.
Reachout has worked closely with social service providers in the county with referrals and requests for help. The organization has taught suicide intervention skills all around New York and has developed programs to help make communities safer from suicide. It was unclear at publication time what service the legislature has chosen to replace Reachout. Earlier this month, a man incarcerated at a state prison near Utica was allegedly attacked by guards and later died from his injuries. The incident was caught on video, which the Attorney General's office is reviewing. The union that represents corrections officers described the video as, quote, incomprehensible. Last week, Governor Kathy Hochul ordered more than a dozen officers from Marcy Correctional Facility to be fired over the fatal beating. Randy Gorman reports for the New York Public News Network.
Hochul said she has directed the state's Corrections Department commissioner to begin the process of terminating 14 workers involved in the fatal attack at the Marcy Correctional Facility in central New York. Robert Brooks, who reportedly is from a Rochester suburb, died December 10th after an encounter with officers at the prison located in Oneida County. The 43-year-old had been serving a 12-year prison sentence for first-degree assault in Monroe County. The State Department of Corrections Commissioner also denounced the staffer's actions and said the suspensions are, as he put it, in the best interest of the agency and the communities we serve. State Attorney General Letitia James said her office is also investigating the use of force by correction officers that led to that death. In Rochester, I'm Randy Gorman for the New York Public News Network.
The head of the U.S. side of the St. Lawrence Seaway is stepping down. Administrator Adam Tyndall-Schlicht says he plans to resign in January. Tyndall-Schlicht was appointed to the position by President Joe Biden near the end of 2022. His resignation would clear the way for President-elect Donald Trump to appoint a new administrator. Under Tyndall-Schlicht's leadership, the Seaway saw a rebound in traffic from a dip during the COVID-19 pandemic and an increased budget. Tyndall-Schlicht also oversaw construction of the new Eisenhower Lock Visitor Center in Messina. According to North Country Now, the new facility has welcomed more than 35,000 visitors since it opened last May. The Seaway's shipping channels in the St. Lawrence River will close for the winter on January 5th. That ties last year as the latest closing date in Seaway history. The North Country can be an isolating place for seniors. It's hard to get around and make friends, so keeping busy and finding fun are essential. In St. Lawrence County, 2 seniors have made it their mission to share their sense of adventure with older residents. Catherine Wheeler reports the married couple was honored as the county's Senior Citizens of the Year.
Lee and Marlene Carvel say there are a few critical components to any good trip for seniors. a meal, a boat ride, and a few jokes that I can't say on air.
I have a list of jokes that Lee can tell. I'm cutting them out of Reader's Digest and things like that. And sometimes he tells ones that's not on the list, but yeah.
They like those jokes.
The Carvels say they've always bounced from one adventure to the next. So when they got involved in the DeKalb Senior Citizens Group, they became the go-to activity planners. Over the years, they've organized picnics at local parks and at their camp in South Colton. They say it's an easy spot for their crowd. No stairs. Marlene says they've also managed bigger trips, like a boat ride through the Baldwinsville Lock near Syracuse, a train ride from Utica to Old Forge, and a trip to Washington, D.C.
I just felt like they needed us. And we've always been pretty active and spry, and we still are pretty active. And some of these people they're shut in, or they didn't get a chance to go on a trip money-wise.
It's made them pretty popular among the seniors in Herman and DeKalb, so their group secretly nominated them to share the title of St. Lawrence County's Senior Citizen of the Year. Counties across New York annually bestow the honor on a senior who gives back to their community. To celebrate their award, the Carvels were invited to Albany along with their fellow winners.
And then we got certificates.
Yeah, we got all these.
We're supposed to frame them.
I know.
Yeah. We get kind of busy.
Lee and Marlene are 74 and 73 years old, respectively. Lee's from Canton. He worked as an accountant in Potsdam until he bought a hardware store in DeKalb. Marlene is from Colton. She moved to Herman after she married her first husband. But they always knew each other.
Our sons were friends, and
Same age.
so they kind of got us together because we were both single.
Now the Carvels have been married for close to 20 years.
We have a blended family, so we have 6 kids between us and 19 grand and great-grandkids.
Both have been really involved in the community throughout their lives. Her, the Herman Library Board and the Historical Society, and him, the Herman Town Board and the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce. Lee first started getting involved with the seniors when he was working at his hardware store. He'd take a short walk to the senior housing building, eat lunch, and head back to work. Then Lee and Marlene started organizing the trips together. But all that changed when the COVID-19 pandemic hit.
We lost a few members due to COVID, and then it was a struggle to get everybody coming back again.
Lee says it took a lot of work to get folks to show up, but he knew how to lure them in.
Boy, when we first started it back up, we had 12, 15 people come, And then Marlene suggested we have pizza for lunch or ice cream social type of thing, And you get them back, If we had a boat, we would have got more back, but
It's taken some work, but now they're up to around 30. It's not quite as many as before, but the Carvels say they want to recruit more people to join, including the younger set, like 55 and 60-year-olds.
Getting new people, when I say new old people to join, is very difficult, very, very difficult, because I guess they don't want to be old. We just moved right into it, but a lot of people, of course, we know hundreds of people, and they don't join because of the stereotype.
But then they find out how much fun we have.
The Carvels say they've been lucky to do all of this, and they want to keep it up for as long as they can.
But we're still pretty healthy. I mean, we've both had we've had a lot of health issues. I've had cancer. He's had heart attacks, but we're pretty good right now. So that's why we say we want to keep doing what we're doing, because it keeps us healthy keeps us young. And
we know the day is going to come when we can't.
They say that's why they're so set on enjoying it now, and they'll continue to make sure other seniors can too. Catherine Wheeler, North Country Public Radio in South Colton.
We have more news all the time on our website, ncpr.org. I'm still collecting new names for this show. I never really liked Story of the Day. It's kind of duh. And I'm not good at show names. So please help me. What's a great name for a daily podcast that has the latest North Country news and the most important and memorable stories all in under 10 minutes? Email your ideas to david@ncpr.org. That's david@ncpr.org. Thank you so much for this help. Let's get a new name as soon as possible. Music today by Eddie Lawrence of Saranac Lake and Danny Thomas of Canton. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.